Come alongside, port side 2. Focus down the line. Okay, focus down the line.
How do you fancy doing this sort of thing then?
Well, nobody fancies it, do they, at all? But it's something to help the lads out. They've all been working hard for a long, long time, and this is what makes it look smart for when we go home.
Is it important to you to look smart?
It's important to the fact that the families that are coming on board, it's got to be smart for them. It's no good, even though we've been to war, coming home with everything looking as dirty as it was 3 weeks. If you've spent 4 months at sea in that place, then hey, you're fantastic. Look at this. I love you. Hey, I think you're great, Brum. I think you're fantastic. Thank you. Love you to bits.
It's nice to be able to have a bit of fun, though, isn't it?
We always do, especially with that. It's unbelievable. No, if you've been at sea for 4 months, then the ship looks horrible.
You must get very close to each other.
Of course we do, yeah, we look after each other. Yeah, well, you do everything together, don't you?
What was it like down there, though?
Horrible. Pathetic. Unbelievable. Never again.
Were you scared ever?
Very, very, very regular. Yeah, horrible. Just wanted to be home with a family. Everybody did. Every guy on board here all they wanted to do was get back home.
When you got down there, Coventry and Atlantic Conveyor were hit the very day you got there. What did that do for the morale?
It's unusual. The morale's unusual because everybody feels, especially for the guys who you know, and they're all running around trying to find and see the signals, see if they know any of the guys that have been hurt. Because we're all together when it comes to it. They all know each other. If it's Portsmouth-based ship, then 90% of the time you will know the guys that thing it. Because they were Plymouth-based ships, you look for the guys who come from Portsmouth who left their families. One guy on board lives next door to someone who was killed. He's got to go on with that. He knows that now, and psychologically he's working up to it till he's going to meet someone's family who has been killed.
So you wouldn't want to go through all that lot again?
There is no way that I'm going through that lot again.
Well, now, there'll be thousands of people waiting for you. How do you feel about that?
Thanks for coming. I love them all, but there's only 3 people in my life. My wife, my little boy, and Rusty the dog.
Well, Alan, everyone is very proud of what you've done.
Not as proud as what we will be tomorrow when we're with our team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anchors away!
Take 3.
What do you say,
Clear anchor!
Quarters, launch deck.
Quarters.
Roger, we're now closed up, ready to load missiles. When I give you load, can you load both beams with live missiles?
Quarters, Roger.
Roger, stand by.
my bag, all my shirts.
Left beam first, going right, awaiting your order.
Roger, left beam first.
You ready, gentlemen? Ready?
Quarters, roger deck. Load, load, load. Quarter, watch deck. Load, load, load.
Ready for the unload, gentlemen?
Launcher deck, green the launcher, green 90, elevation 25.
Starting on launcher now.
Order.
Right to the load position much quicker because that'll be under computer control.
Launcher deck. Launcher to load position. Order, launcher deck, unload right.
Quarters, roger.
We'll back and pass the message to the rest of the chaps if they would like to know tomorrow what they should get exactly what they want.
Right. You're on it. Well, first of all, perhaps you could tell us when you were actually engaged in action.
Well, we arrived down off the Falkland Islands towards the end of May, in fact on the day that HMS Coventry and Atlantic Conveyor were sunk. So we were in the area of activity, or area of action from that particular day. We didn't engage any missiles, or with our missiles on that particular day. We were placed out on the picket line, giving early warning of any air attack coming in towards the main group.
In fact, you were a decoy just as Sheffield was.
It's hardly a decoy. They are both there as pickets. Picket's the term. They're not actually there to decoy. They're there to give early warning with our long-range air warning radars and electronic listening devices of missiles or air attack coming in, not as a decoy.
As you say, you arrived on the day Coventry and Atlantic Conveyor was sunk. That must have filled you with apprehension.
Absolutely. The atmosphere in the ship that night was very quiet. We were obviously very concerned about a lot of chums who we didn't know at that stage how many survivors there were or how many casualties. And we were very apprehensive about ourselves arriving in the same area on the same day.
What did you feel about the prospect?
2 weeks and 2 weeks. I tell the staff one, hello staff one, staff one, how do you go there for me, fuck up the wrong mind, the young people doing it, you know.
It will be through. What was it like when you first got there to discover that Atlantic Conveyor and Coventry had been sunk on the same day?
It was very unnerving, in fact. The previous few days it had been quite quiet. Then as we started arriving, we could hear over the radio the attacks coming in. And then to find out two more ships had been sunk. And we were the new boys down there. Same with all the other ships. When they joined, it makes you very nervous.
And then there you are.
You're not quite sure what's going to happen.
And then there you were, virtually acting as decoy in the same position as Sheffield, with possibility of an Exocet attack any minute.
Well, we did actually do the decoy role a couple of days after Atlantic Conveyor was hit, which was one of her roles.
It must have brought it home to you, the sinking of those two ships, that this really was a war.
It does, especially when you can, on the way down there, we could hear over the radio of the attacks going in at the time. And especially as you get closer, you tend to think a little more about it. And what could happen if it was one attack came for you.
What did you think?
Well, I was a little worried, of course. So, would we be attacked? If so, would we be sunk? Because we're a big ship, and therefore potentially a big target.
Were you scared?
I think everybody gets scared of it at one point.
At that moment when you were thinking about what could happen, what was closest to you? Did you think of your family?
I thought of a lot of things. Yeah, family. Family especially.
Now you're coming home? Must be great.
It's great, yeah. 4.5 months away. We've all been looking forward to this for at least 2-3 months now.
What's your most abiding memory of the whole operation?
Most abiding memory. I suppose the first day we arrived, when I'd had one of the night watches, and so we didn't really see anything, but going up to the bridge at 8 o'clock in the morning and then looking around, and there a mile away on the port side was Hermes, the other side was Invincible, and wherever you looked there were ships, all grey warships, a lot of merchantmen, and it really brought it home to you what was happening.
Quite an experience though.
It was an experience, yeah.
But not to go back too soon then.
I hope not.
And he managed to stay a Chief Pay Officer about 6 weeks, I think. And we didn't want him, so he went back to Mr. Laffey again, calling permission of Mr. Galatieri, I think. I'd like to present him with his service certificates and a willy warmer, which he won't need.
You prick.
You haven't got one written out as well, have you?
It starts hello, so
A complete surprise.
Thank you very much for accepting me as a chief.
Thank you, John. Hey, John, you drink it. You drink it. We won't going to play charades, but we'll keep it to that. Thank you very much indeed. It's, I say it's a pleasure to be down the south, but I think without a crew like we've got on now, it would have been a lot harder. And thank you very much indeed for your support. Well, John. Cheers.
How important was Portishead Radio to this communication system?
Well, on the way back, a lot of people, after 4 months away and have very, very little contact with the families, were very, very keen to talk to their wives, girlfriends, etc. So we had a great rush, once we were allowed to use HF radio, to talk to UK. And we had 400 people on board here, almost, wanted to speak to wives, girlfriends, etc. So we were taking 35 a night, radio telephone calls directly into Portishead from 5,000 miles away. And Portishead were absolutely, the service they gave us was absolutely marvellous. They gave me a direct channel each night. They supplied me with a service when things weren't working very well. They would change frequency for me, and I just cannot give them enough praise. We, in the end, did £1,500 worth of radio telephone calls. More than half the ship's company did about 4 minutes, because I used to kick them out rather than give them 10. And I kind of praise Portishead Radio, the GPO people there, absolutely marvellous.
Now, you're the only person who's kept this daily log. How did you manage it through all the trials and tribulations you had?
It's been a hard struggle all the way through to keep it daily, all the way up to date, because in fact what I've had to do is take notes on paper everywhere, and then in the few spare minutes you've got, start scribbling like mad and get it all down on paper. But it's all there now, it's all complete, all ready to go, day by day.
It was a serious business, but there must be some funny moments. Tell us about one.
Oh yes, there's lots of. The book refers to it. What we've done, in fact, is tried to mention as many of the lads as possible during this. Little tiny ones, just like the canteen manager, one of the civilians on board, who said, I must give a mention to John Laffey, the canteen manager, who heard the action alarm first, and we were all in bed at the time. He dove out of bed like an Olympic athlete, only to be immediately followed by his messmates above him, who fell straight on top of him and crushed him into the deck. And so he was a little bit late getting up for his station. But there's quite a few amusing anecdotes all the way through it.
What are you going to do with this? Are you going to publish it?
Yes, I've seen the captain already, and what we'd like to do is sort of publish it as a deployment book for Bristol. Not many people know actually what went on down here. And the main aim, first of all, is to provide a copy for every member of the ship's company that actually sailed with us on May the 10th. And from there, we'd like to sort of develop out ones for families, and also send copies to our charities in Bristol, and the Lord Mayor of Bristol and so forth, who've been excellent to us all the way down on the trip here.
You were the person who actually fired the sea dart. What was that moment like?
It's hard to explain exactly what it was like. It all happened out of the blue. At first we thought, in fact we weren't even in the war zone at the time, and the captain decided we'd go to action stations because of this aircraft that had come over. And we picked up these Sprayer's echoes on radar, and we reacted to it, and we fired a salvo in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. And it was all sort of all over before you could sort of recollect